So, Matt here, and this is going to be the first video that I'm doing uh, for what I made this channel for. Of course, I did make this channel to spread the word of God and stuff, but I also kind of wanted to do some what ifs. So, here's my first one, and it's going to be one that I've been thinking about for a while. I have been working on this story for a while, so I'm for where I'm at. I'm already in the Boo Saga, but we're probably not going to go for that far today. So, what if raditz turn good? So, our story is going to start, of course, with the arrival of raditz, right when they have caught in him with his tail. Now, of course, they're about to shoot him, and then raditz says that he will help them, and he, instead of saying they'll leave, but of course, after pleading with his brother let go. So, he then tells them about the Saiyans that are heading to Earth. And then, of course, they train for a year, practice with the Ozaru and stuff. And Goku does tap into some of that power that he had against Demon King Piccolo. So the new threat, of course, we're gonna go over some power levels. Goku is at 8,000, so maybe not as much as it was in the series, but again, it was over 8,000. But it's going to be quite a bit. Raditz's is at 9,500. I'm going to keep him above Goku for a little while because he was stronger than Goku in the series. So, of course, whenever that happens, he's going to be stronger than them and stuff. Piccolo is going to be a little bit stronger now at about 4,000. Krillin and Tien, they're going to be around 2,500. So, Yamcha is sitting at a good 2,000. Chaozu is at 1,000. I think originally he was at like 800. So I did just buff him up a bit because since Raditz is there, they got a little bit better training. Now Gohan's not up here because A, I forgot to put him up here, and B, because his power level is most likely going to be the same because of they decided to train him similarly. Like they still threw him into the wild for about 6 months and then started training with him, and I'd say that it pretty much went that his power wasn't too much different because he was still learning to fight the whole time. Then, just for a reiteration, Nappa's is at 4,000 and Vegeta's is at 1,800. So, of course, Reddit says that he will take on Nappa, and after a good bit of fighting, Raditz goes for a double Sunday, and Nappa goes for his mouth beam, with the mouth beam paralyzing, or the double Sunday paralyzing Nappa after it hits him. With a very quick fight, seeing as Raditz's power level is far above Nappa's. So Vegeta has no use for a worthless Saiyan, and he kills him. Of course, just as usual. Then they move the locations, just like in the normal series, to the Rocky Plain. Vegeta, he don't care. He just wants to fight Kakarot and stuff and get the Dragon Balls and wish for immortality, so he can then go on to defeat Frieza. So they all die. So Vegeta goes to attack Gohan, and Piccolo jumps in the way, getting killed, and Vegeta is a little bit mad after hearing that the Dragon Balls have been destroyed because of that. Then Chaozu goes to jump onto Vegeta's back, which then causes he explodes, and it does not work. Then Vegeta goes and blasts Yamcha because Yamcha tries to jump in with the Wolf Fang Fist and gets destroyed. And then in a rage, Tien fires a full power Tri Beam, ending up taking all of his life force and killing him. Then both Raditz and Goku go in to fight Vegeta. It doesn't really end too well. But at some point, they do manage to hurt Vegeta enough for him to activate the False Moon technique. Of course, that turns both Raditz and Vegeta into great apes. But, as I said before, with a little bit of training, Goku was able to unlock something that the full moon helped fully complete. So Goku was able to go into Ikari, where he has the power of a great ape, so multiplying his power tenfold, putting him at 80,000. Of course, not as close as Vegeta, but with a little bit of help from him and more control over his form, he was able to destroy the false moon, turning back both of them. So then Vegeta goes off back into space, just as before, to get back and recover and get the Zenkai boost. Of course, Krillin did try to kill him, just like in the original series. Well, actually, Krillin didn't, because they weren't there. So by the time Krillin and Gohan got back, they just saw everything that had happened. Saw Goku and Raditz on the floor, both in very much pain, after seeing Vegeta leave. So they get him to the hospital and stuff. And then they head off to Namek to go and get the Dragon Balls. So that because after hearing about the Namekian and everything, they need to go get the Dragon Balls to revive their friends who have fallen in battle. So then, of course, Namek is going to go basically the same because Goku and Raditz are still recovering. So, of course, it is still just going to be Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma heading straight there. So, not much of a difference there. So, of course, it's not going to be different. Then, of course, Goku and Raditz recover after they get the Sensu Beans, just like in the normal series. So they are going to have one less Sensu Bean, but hopefully it should be okay. Raditz did get a new outfit. Of course, I cannot find pictures everywhere of him in this outfit doing everything I need him to do, so he's not always going to be wearing it, but we're just going to pretend like he is. Okay. So, after they get on the ship, they train for a bit, and after a long while, of course, we're skipping everything that already previously happened, they arrive on Namek. Both of them first jumping off into a Ikari because Raditz has learned how to control it, and so has Goku on their time on the time chamber. So, of course, just as normal, Goku goes and knocks out Rikum first with great tremendous speed. And then Raditz will take care of Burter this time and defeating him. And then they do defeat Jace too. And after they defeated Jace, Ginyu comes and fights for a bit and just jumps straight into taking over Goku's body after knowing he does not stand a chance on a 2-on-1. So he goes and tries to take over Goku's body because he seems to be the one who wasn't paying attention the most because he was just sitting there watching Raditz fight. And then right before he does, Raditz notices and jumps in, pushing Goku out of the way. Then Ginyu now has full control over Raditz's body. Gohan does, of course, jump in like before, and he does blast Raditz with a full power blast because, of course, he's mad after Raditz took care, or Ginyu got rid of his dad. So after a fight, everything happened. So Ginyu tries to go for round two. He powers up another change now to go ahead and get Goku. But of course, then Raditz jumps in to get his body back. So then Ginyu tries one more time on Vegeta, but gets put inside of a frog. I don't know what's wrong with this picture. It's just really funny. So that was the end of the Ginyu Force. But of course, Frieza is there. But Raditz goes into the pod to heal because, of course, his body got greatly damaged whenever Ginyu took it over. So instead of it being Goku this time, it is Raditz. So Goku jumps in to fight Frieza. And actually, he's holding pretty good on his own, being stronger because he was training with Raditz and has more control over his Saiyan nature because Raditz helped him with that. He was able to push Frieza into his second form and even into his third form. So he is quite a bit stronger. But then Frieza's third form pushed Goku into using Ikari again after he had regained enough stamina to use it again. But then Ikari pushed Frieza into his final form. I don't know what's happening right now. Well, there. Okay, so they go back and they start fighting again. So, they're having a pretty good fight. Raditz does eventually wake up and head over to their location. And after a brief fight, they both fire a powerful blast at Frieza with enough power to amount to almost the Spirit Bomb. Not quite, but it was just enough to push Frieza over the edge, enough to defeat him. But then, after they were all rejoicing and having a nice, merry time, Frieza jumps right back into the fight, blasting Vegeta this time because Vegeta never died, because Goku was there to fight Frieza. So Vegeta has now been knocked down onto the ground. So he's going to gain a tremendous power boost from this, but it will also help with a little bit of rage, maybe a little bit later on. And then, of course, he goes and he blows Krillin up, and that pushes Goku over the edge, pushing him into the legendary Super Saiyan. So, of course, after being pushed into the legendary Super Saiyan, they're just pushing pretty far. So Goku and Super Saiyan, Raditz, and Ikari, knowing what this legendary Super Saiyan power is, he goes ahead and tries to help Goku fight Frieza. But Goku does tell him to leave, and he does help summon Purunga, and the wish is made to send everyone back to Earth. So, Goku and Frieza are having a battle after, Frieza tries to blow up Namek, and then they get into a fight over the Earth. Of course, Goku allows Frieza to go into full power again, and defending Vegeta's pride and everything that he murdered, everyone he murdered, he is now fighting Frieza. Um, he's wanting to protect everyone on Earth, including his brother. So, of course, Frieza does end up hitting himself with the Death Saucer. Um, and then asks for mercy and gets blasted with that. Now, moving on to the Android Saga. So, of course, Fraser returns. Sorry for the low quality picture. It's like one of the best ones I could find. Then a mysterious man and, two mysterious teenagers show up, a man and a woman, who the Z Fighters have no idea who they are. But, of course, the boy goes Super Saiyan, taking out Frieza. And the girl takes out King Cold, by catching him off guard, so she did not go Super Saiyan. It is not confirmed if she is a Saiyan or not, but they do know that she is there and she is quite strong enough to take out Frieza's father. Of course, after Goku arrives from Yardrat, the teenager goes and he talks to Goku, telling him the backstory. So he tells him that his name is Trunks and he is the son of Vegeta and Bulma, and that the girl is Ranch, the daughter of Raditz and Launch, because of course at some point on Earth, Launch gives up on Tien, of course, and sees Raditz, thinks that he's cute and everything, and actually both versions of Launch love Raditz. I don't know if the blue-haired one liked Tien or not, but of course that happened. And in the past, Raditz, Gohan, Ranch, and Trunks were the only ones to survive. At some point, in a rage, Raditz unlocks Super Saiyan, going off and fighting the androids and inevitably dying. Now, of course, this makes Ranch very sad and has the comfort of Chi-Chi, Trunks, and Gohan. Of course, at some point, Chi-Chi gets killed, and then Gohan, pushing both Ranch and Trunks over the edge into Super Saiyans. And then, of course, Trunks tells him about the medicine and everything. I didn't put the slide in there, but he does tell him about the medicine and says that they will be back in 4 years once the androids show up. Of course, Ranch is very happy to see her father again, but after everything that has happened, uh, they go on to the time skip. And of course, throughout this time skip, Ranch does have his daughter, and that's when Goku, of course, tells him, um, you know, so they welcome Little Ranch into the world. Of course, Trunks is also born within this time period, but then one day the androids show up. Instead of taking out Yamcha in the city, well, yeah, they probably did still take out Yamcha. Um, and then the Z Fighters do show up to go and fight them. Both, and of course, Raditz, whenever he thought his brother was dead, he he unlocked Super Saiyan, so he has Super Saiyan now. And of course, Goku also goes into Super Saiyan. I don't not remember why I picked the Sparking Zero picture, but of course, they both go Super Saiyan to fight the androids. But then they of course as Saiyans take turns. Of course, Goku goes and gets the heart virus, so that sucks. Vegeta shows up, taking out Android 19, and then Dr. Gero flees and activates 17 and 18. Of course, they do find the lab at some point, and well, they don't find the lab because Android 17 and 18 fly out, ready and prepared. Of course, this time they are a little bit stronger because they have the power of Akari. So they are a tad bit stronger here, but that wouldn't change too much because, of course, they have Super Saiyans and different things. But Goku, of course, is in bed. Raditz wants to stay at his brother's bedside because he cares about his brother. And, you care about your baby brothers. So he's at his bedside waiting, so Raditz will not show up much. Of course, the future warriors do show back up, Ranch hopping straight into Super Saiyan to fight the androids. Piccolo fuses with Kami, and Cell is still out there, but they do not notice with their fight with the androids because this time they are actually hopping straight in because Raditz isn't there, but they just wanted to hop right in. Then a fight between Android 17, Piccolo, and Ranch, of course, takes off. And after a brief fight, Android 17, the mysterious Cell shows up and absorbs 17, pushing him into his second form. Of course, then he goes and absorbs 18, while Krillin goes to blow her up. They all get their Saiyan armor on, of course, to go and train because they need to find something to fight Cell. Of course, this is a little different because Cell basically skips his second form because, they got the explosive early because Ranch had thought about it. So that happens, but then they go ahead and do it. So this is the order. So of course, first Vegeta and Trunks are going in because Vegeta is very impatient. Then Goku was nice enough to let his brother go in because he knew his brother would probably get stronger easier. And of course, his brother is stronger than him, so they're going to need him as a valuable asset. So next up will be Raditz and Ranch. And then of course Goku and Gohan. By the time Goku and Gohan get out, it will of course be different. They will be out. So there was not going to be like 10 days because they're going to be in there for a little bit extra. So maybe about 8 or 9 days. So of course, they go in there. Vegeta, Trunks, they go. Pretty much goes the same. And I actually found this. So there's a little bit of a fight going on. Ranch is never in here. And it was getting a little hard. And she thought that she could catch her dad off guard. So she tries to. It does not work. Then she does get she does get a haircut, of course. And he says, if you don't like your haircut, I'm sure Launch can fix it up. But she says, I can't believe it. I messed up every suit of armor Bulma gave me. I hope Trunks isn't here, and without a mirror, I can't tell if Dad gave me a good haircut or not. Couldn't tell. Ranch likes Trunks, of course. And you have Goku and Gohan who go in there. Pretty much the same. Gohan on Super Saiyan and everything. Then the Cell games after the days of peace. So first off is Goku and Cell because Goku was who Cell was designed to kill. Of course, he does decide to forfeit, gives Cell the Senzu Bean, and puts Gohan in, knowing that he is their best bet. The Cell Juniors do come out, and there's of course 2 extra Cell Juniors for Raditz and Ranch, and they're actually beating them down pretty badly. Pretty strong Cell Juniors. Of course, then Gohan gives Super Saiyan. I'm sorry for the video if y'all don't like it.
俺の好きだった自然や動物たちを守ってやってくれ。
さないぞお前たち
He's in Super Saiyan 2, of course, kicking Cell in the chest, and he does apparently get cocky at some point after taking out the Cell Juniors and everything. So Cell goes to blow himself up. Now, this time it's a little different. Yes, Goku has instant transmission, but he doesn't know who King Kai is. So, not knowing who King Kai is, that kind of makes things a little difficult. So, Goku, using the propulsion of the Kamehameha, is able to push himself and Cell up into the sky where they blow up. Of course, Raditz is very pissed, and this rage is what helps him unlock Super Saiyan 2 later on. So, once Cell comes back, of course, as they see Cell fly out of the explosion after regenerating, and he states how he is now perfect in his own version of Super Saiyan 2. Of course, Raditz, knowing that Goku's sacrifice was in vain, decides in goes Super Saiyan 2 in his rage. Of course, they have their own little battle, with Cell shooting off a Kamehameha, and Raditz shooting off his own little blast, which of course is in a very strong beam clash, which then Raditz does get beat back down, but then Gohan goes and fires the Uncle Son Kamehameha with Raditz. Of course, I know Goku's in the picture, but I didn't know what else I could do. So, of course, with the Uncle Son or with the Uncle Nephew Kamehameha, they were able to eradicate Cell. Now, of course, the android. Well, this is for next time. Little sneak peek. So, you guys don't know what's going to be in store for you. Because it's a little bit confusing. I mean, what does it mean? The androids appear. Well, that's going to be the end for this video. So, guys, let me know what you think of these videos. Y'all can go ahead and start putting in some suggestions. I'll pick out my favorite few, and I may go ahead and working on another one after I put a poll up. Or I might just wait till I finish this series, go one at a time. Then maybe I can start doing two at a time. Of course, I would like to know y'all's feedback. And, this takes a lot of time to make, searching for the pictures, doing some Photoshop for specific pictures. So, if you could drop a like and subscribe down below, that would be awesome. Now, God bless y'all. I hope y'all have a good weekend and everything. Master Matt, out.